So with the fourth stage out of the way, which I felt it was more difficult than 3, but easier than 2. Except during the end, my apologies. During the end it was more difficult in its own way, because of the bottomless pits. But still I found 2 to be overall more challenging. But I suppose this is the hatchet room now, as tradition in about every Mega Man game. We have all these octopus batteries which you can farm off of, and all these small weapon pickups. So it's time to restock on everything. Oh, because I didn't really get any M tanks. Okay, hello Shadow Proto Man. Okay, so he'll charge up and get an escape. So I suppose he'll be harassing us through the rest of the stage. Yep, like there. Or all these clones. They go down in about 8 points of damage, so they're not too much of a problem. They're really more of a pushover. E-tank. Yeah, you should have this at this point, so it's not too much an issue either. After all, this is not a game where you have to unlock the rush jet. Oh, and thank you for all these large weapon pickups. Time to restock on everything and get to the final battles. The Silk Rain needs some. Yeah, this needs more. Trash attack, and that should be it. The rest don't take that much energy, or won't be used often. I hope the final Wily or final boss fight doesn't use a non-standard, the most difficult to use weapon. To be fair though, before I continue on, well, let's continue on. Yep, here's the hatchet room as expected. Before I fight the bosses, final word about all the weapons, as I've gotten all of them at this point. I'll make another one at the end of this game. None of these weapons are really awkward to use. In fact, they're all quite powerful in their own ways. And like the Zap Barrier giving you temporary invulnerability, Flash Dagger being able to hold in place and fire, great for foes which guard and unguard. And of course it gives you a second vulnerability if you hold it long enough. The Giant Axe, which pierces through enemies, does quite a bit of damage. You can multi-hit. Trash Attack, which can also multi-hit and explodes outwards. Leaf Boomerang being my main source of DPS, which can multi-hit like a truck and can grab items from dangerous situations. Coal Barrage being a great shotgun weapon, and if you can aim it correctly, as demonstrated by the mini-boss during Daggerman stage, it can quickly make mincemeat of them because the coals can bounce. And the trailing flames still cause damage to enemies. Magic Missile will follow your foes around, and if you can destroy it in one hit, it'll follow the next one. As you saw in the previous stage with all those balls, it can easily clear up the screen with all of them. I wish I had something like the Yoku attack from Mega Man Unlimited, where I could just collect them without having to be right in the same position, as I can't fire the Leaf Boomerang down. Silk Rain is basically what the Thundercloud from Mega Man 10 should have been more like, constantly moving diagonally upper right and constantly releasing droplets of rain, which damage enemies, and because you have 3 of them, you can inundate a large area and deny enemies from coming forward. Then of course you have the classic Rush Coil and Rush Jet, which Rush Jet is more useful compared to most other fan games. I have to say it's slightly better than Mega Man Unlimited, and Beat is quite unique compared to his original ones, because unlike the other ones where he would just peck at them or act like a emergency drag you out of the bottomless pit service, instead he'll fire a piercing laser. I've never really seen this in other fan games, so it's pretty nice. After all, it has 2 power, 6.5 speed, which is actually faster than any of the other weapons I have in the game, excluding the Leaf Boomerang, and the Leaf Boomerang fires quite fast. 1 rapid, so just like the Mega Buster, and it only takes 1/4 of an energy. Just think about that. That means you can fire it 112 times. And considering how much power it does to a boss, you can easily take care of 4 bosses in max if you do it correctly. Robot Master bosses specifically. So overall, the selection is pretty good and not that awkward. So I have almost all the upgrades except the Energy Balancer, which I unfortunately have to get during the bonus section. But yeah, let's take on the hatchet room. Or hatch room. Let's see who is on this door. I forgot again. Hello, Leaf Man. So yeah, you're weak against the giant axe. But of course I'm a bit smarter this time. When I say smarter, I mean not run right into you. Okay, so you can even ignore the life pickups if you really want to. Who's behind door number 2? Oh, hi, Zapman. What was Zapman weak against? Oh yeah, the leaf boomerangs. Yeah, he's torn to shred by this. But yeah, he's quite a difficult boss if you're not if you're fighting him normally. As when I did some test runs off screen, yeah, with his crazy jumping and all the projectiles, he can be quite an issue to take care of, especially as a perfect runner. I keep referring to perfect runners as they usually have the, I would say, best expertise in general of these types of Mega Man games. And yes, several of these bosses can be quite miserable to take care of. Hello, Magic Man. Or Wizard Man, you're weak against trash. For some reason. It makes your double attack a lot simpler to avoid. Yeah, and it also takes care of your invincibility or invisibility. Who's up next? Hello, Soakman. You're of course weak against the zap barrier, I presume. Yeah, as expected. There we go. Not too much of an issue. I mean, he wasn't that difficult originally. His stage was more difficult, to be fair. And he's torn to shreds by the zap barrier. Hello, Trash Man. What are you weak against? Nope, not that. So the giant axe? Nope. Silk Rain. Nope, not Silk Rain. No, that shouldn't be the magic missile. Yep, Coal Barrage, okay. Kinda makes... Oh yeah, and if he's stuck in the fire, he'll still take 2 damage. So yeah, well, to be fair, he's part of a trash compactor of sorts, so the flaming coals burns the flammable trash and it hurts him when it's inside of him. Kinda makes sense. What were you again? Oh yeah, Coalman. I suppose you're weak against Silk Rain because of water. Yeah, I expected that. Unfortunately, I can't... Oh yeah, I can do that. Oh yeah, and then when he's invulnerable, I can't really damage him. But oh, if you can position it just right, just like the Thundercloud of Mega Man 10, a constant stream of damage. At least I can cancel it by doing quick weapon changes. Hello, Dagger Man. I suppose you're against the giant axe then. No? Oh wait, sorry, my mistake. It was the magic missile. I completely forgot, even though it was right in the previous part. And considering guides, it locks right onto you, and considering Dagger Man keeps teleporting around all over the place, having a Hoban weapon being his weakness really makes sense, as the magic will keep tracking him over and over. Huh. So I suppose then the Flash Dagger is strong against the Axeman by process of elimination. Yep. I'm not sure what the weakness, the reason for that is. Oh, whoa, I need to use an E-Tank now. I really don't lose to this boss again. Oops, that wasn't intended. I'm not exactly sure why daggers beat axes. But I know that holding the dagger in place really makes it simpler to target him, especially with his crazy jump. Not really crazy jumping, but with his fast jumping and falling patterns. And of course the 1 second invulnerability makes it a lot simpler as well. You could also use speed, of course. Alright, let's take on Proto Man, or Wily. Here's Proto Man's famous tune. Well, yeah, in Proto Man it does the usual shtick, which is asking him to join him, just like several evil overlords, many. And Megaman always pleads not to fight him. After all, he is his brother. We have no choice. Quite a nice scene. Okay, so whenever his shield's up, you can't damage him. Oh wow, he moves a lot. Oh whoa. Okay, so he can do triple charge shots. But of course, if you get behind him, yeah, you can pierce right to his shield, or keep doing damage to him. I'm gonna purposely lose to him, as I can get better used to his pattern. Boy, comparing it to other Proto Man fights, this is quite frantic. To be fair, this is supposed to be the final boss fight, or the boss before the final boss, as I suspect there's a Wily Fortress 6. And good, we skipped the conversation. Get ready for his charge shot. Okay, you can tell how many times he'll charge. Ow, and he hurts like a truck when you get right next to him. Okay, and if you drop him to 1 health, he falls. And boy, Proto Man is just, well, I don't want to say naughty language, as this is a fan game, but this wouldn't necessarily be accepted in the main games. Although Mega Man 7 had base use the same curse. Figures. Huh? Oh, okay, so it seems like... Okay, so Dr. Wily was controlling him. I thought this was a fake Proto Man. And yeah, as expected, Dr. Wily was behind everything. Yeah, charade. Yeah, I mean, Wily wasn't really fooling anyone. I mean, Mega Man wasn't. Yeah. That boss fight was quite a bit, was quite frantic. In fact, whenever I fight him again without deaths, that would be quite an interesting encounter, especially with all the jumping around. But it seems like he has a set pattern of sorts, a semi-set pattern, and if you listen to some of those audio cues, I don't think it'll be too much of a problem, though his rapid firing of those buster shots, that can be somewhat of a problem. Okay. Yeah, he never learns. The over the 11, 12, or 17 if you count the Game Boy era. So, and if you count fan games, over 20 times. So yeah, figures he would never learn. Is this a slightly different tune, or is it just me? But yeah, I'll fall straight down and we'll fight Wily. Ah, a nice somber remix of Mega Man's theme. Let's collect all the energy we need, and hopefully we collect the correct one. Oh, pff. That was kind of a trollish maneuver. Let's collect all this, of course. And I can't change fast enough. More stuff. Well, I guess I can restore almost everything then. Well, that's everything. Everything's back up to full. That's quite generous of the developer to do so. But yeah, let's put an end to this and defeat Dr. Wily and finish the game. And here's the final boss. Okay, his head is a weakness. Oh no, he's charging up. He's going to be firing it. Oh, oh no. Okay, a lot of things are happening on screen at once. Oh, I have to duck under that and... Okay, I don't know, I need to do for phase 1 again, which I will. Yeah, like that. There are a lot of projectiles happening. Okay, so even the weapon energies restock. That's very generous, just in case you make a mistake in the final boss. Let's see what his weakness is. I don't think it's a zap barrier. Nope. Okay, so... Okay, Giant Axe is his weakness. Ow, I need to duck under that. Ow. Okay, first phase is done. Let's try to thunder the rain, the soak rain. Nope. Oh no! Now he's firing metal gears everywhere. Of course, his weakness is his open pilot seat, of course. Nope. Nope. Flaming coal. Even better. Ow. Okay, phase 2 is done, so we should be fighting the Wily Capsule now. As always, it's tradition now in many Mega Man fan games to fight the Wily Capsule. Okay, bouncy balls. 1 damage there. No. At least the Thunderbolt signals where he'll be going next. Oh, I suppose... Oh, whoa. No, he's immune to that. This is the part where I'll be using up all my stock stuff. Perhaps the trash attack? Maybe. It's a quite slow-moving projectile. Oh, it's the zap barrier. Of course, it has to be the most awkward weapon in this division. Having to go so close to him with all these dangerous attacks is really recommended. For the last hits, I'll just use the Mega Buster. Oh, and he can do that, of course. But of course, even with all those projectiles happening everywhere, he wasn't too bad. When I replay this, yeah, I'll have to study it. That seems quite an interesting pattern. But from the beginning, I would like to compliment the creator for actually putting those lightning flashes indicating where he'll to be teleporting next. After all, it can be annoying when he teleports right in front of you. But with all those different projectile attacks, he seems quite interesting, especially that slow-moving one. I wonder if he combos that with other attacks on higher difficulties or the same one, and if he gets faster and more aggressive at lower health pools. But yeah, it's over for this game, Wily. I'll come quietly. Not. Nice reference to Mega Man 7 there, ending. Farewell again, Mega Twerp. That's a reference to the cartoon, I believe. And he escaped through an invisible door there, or a camouflage door, similar to what he does at the end of Mega Man 4. Lots of references here. Panic button engaged, self-destruct sequence initiated, time to escape. Recommended. Just like Mega Man 4's ending. Figures why Dr. Wily would do that. He pretty much always does that. Wow. Well, at least the entire castle wasn't destroyed. Okay, I guess this is the ending then. And we have all those projectiles in the background of ourselves. Take care of the planet with... Oh, nice! So like at the end of Mega Man 9, Mega Man Rock Force, Mega Man Unlimited, and a few other ones. Then we have we basically have all the Roadmasters we defeated and what they're doing after we defeated them and being rebuilt, aka their actual purposes and what better they can be used. But what they better can be used for without having to fight. Oh, Zapman actually is acting like a mentor, a sensei for bass and treble. And sorry. And here's Coleman. Some coal past these worthless diamonds. Ha, clever reversal. I wonder if Gem Man would disagree with that. Or Jewel Man. Battle routine set execute. Oh my goodness, this is a reference to the Battle Network. Get out of my cybers. Okay, so Dagger Man took place in cyberspace, as I expected it to be. Nice reference to the Meteors there and that other enemy, which I believe both of them are actually in the Battle Network series. Old guild back together, next quest. That volcano seems a lot like a reference. But going back to what I said about Dagger Man, yeah, those two enemy types I believe are, well, they are part of Battle Network. The Meteors surely, that and other enemy, the bunny type, I think that is too. Have at you. And Axeman and Nightman get into a battle. Figures, warriors are warriors. I wish Swordsman was there though. And Soakman is... so water purification. That E-tank is leaking some toxic materials. To be fair, if they do heal Robot Masters, yeah, I can see why it would be problematic. Why do we even fight? There's no other way. There's Trashman staying right next to the explosions of that castle. Oops. So yeah, Trashman's reminiscing similar to what X does. And so now we have the enemy, we have all the enemies we faced. So I guess this is a nice time to talk about my opinions of this game, before I go into the special menu and bonuses, of course, and to see what the 100% bonus is by buying the energy balancer. Overall, in the current version of this game, which is officially released, it lives up to my expectations that I've been having for a year. It's quite an enjoyable experience. There's the sortie. But it lives up to my experiences, what I've seen from the trailers. I was a little bit worried considering the Mega Man Internal, and it didn't really live up to my expectations. But this lives up to it so much. Quite enjoyable. All the level gimmicks are pretty interesting. It may not be unique, but some of them are, like for example Magic Man having more unique teams, as well focusing more of the unique teams for World Masters and more of the typical ones. Overall, it is quite enjoyable, and as I said before I went to the capsule room, all the weapons are enjoyable to use and have their own uses here and there. You just need to learn how to use them better. And the bosses, as I said with team, the fighting them was pretty good. There was a balance between easy bosses such as Soakman and more difficult bosses such as Zapman. Though it seemed like the stage difficulty was a little bit balanced towards some way or another, as some stages like Zapman's or Soakman's were more challenging, compared to things like, for example, Axeman's stage. But overall, I would say the difficulty tuning is fair enough for normal mode. After all, you have easy, easier, and easiest mode to play with if you find it to be too challenging. And of course, I didn't even touch the hard mode, which has a whole bunch of other stuff. What's with all the question marks and graphics? Perhaps those are secrets? Outer bosses? After all, I did see a reference to another game in the Facebook. When I mean by reference, I mean direct crossover. But I'll be taking care of that in the next parts. So yeah, overall I quite enjoyed this game, and in the next parts I'll be going over the bonuses and other things I missed. I quite enjoyed the experience, and in the future, maybe in a year or two, I'll definitely play this game in hard mode and try doing a deathless run per each stage, especially as I can save in between the fortress stages. So hard mode, fortress, but I'll still get the upgrades. So yeah, 1 hour and 50 minutes. That seems reasonable. Not cutting all the dead air. Congratulations on beating the game for the first time. Bonus CDs will now appear in certain levels. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention in the playthrough, my apologies, that there are bonus CDs that you can obtain which have some other secrets and the bonus items. And you can only get them after you finish the game. So that's the ending, and nice outro music. Overall, I strongly recommend you play this game when you have the time. Adjust the difficulty and other things if you want to, and if you want to try contributing to the game and leave some nice feedback from MrWeirdGuy. After all, he worked for over 2 long years for this project, and his hard work paid really well. So yeah, that was Mega Man Super Fighting Robot. Back to the title, and in the next part, as I said, I'll be exploring the secrets. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day. Toodles!